It's our top story tonight, a landmark decision by the nation's highest court.
In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that the Constitution protects a person's right to bear arms. The court also found that a Washington, D.C. gun control law goes too far and makes it nearly impossible to own a handgun. But the court said the ruling does not mean that a person's rights are unlimited. Laws against carrying concealed weapons will still be upheld. The right to bear arms is a cherished one here in Alaska. Some might even say we take it for granted.
Gun laws are so lax here, a national report basically flunked our state when it comes to laws preventing gun violence. As CBS 11's Grace Jang joins us live in the newsroom with more on an issue that Alaskans, to say the least, Grace, are very passionate about.
That's right, David and Laura. 2/3 of Alaskans own at least one gun. Our laws make it easy. Some say the Supreme Court ruling makes it easy for the rest of the country now to follow on the path that our state has already paved.
Thursday's Supreme Court ruling makes it easier to use one of these, not just on the shooting range, but in your home. The decision overturned a strict Washington, D.C. ban on guns, a decision the city's mayor frowned upon.
More handguns in the District of Columbia will only lead to more handgun violence.
4,000 miles away at the Rabbit Creek shooting range, the sentiment couldn't be more different.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Here in Alaska, the right to bear arms is a way of life.
I use my guns for hunting and sport.
But in the nation's capital, a different story.
This ruling only impacts the ability of a person to legally possess a registered handgun in their home for the purposes of self-defense.
Since statehood, Alaska's lax laws have made it easy for an adult to buy and carry a firearm, no permit required.
Imagine yourself sitting in a house under the existing law in Washington, D.C., where you have to have your gun torn apart or with a gun lock on it. So what are you going to do to the burglar or the rapist? Wait a minute while I load my gun and put it together?
With the Supreme Court ruling, the rest of the country could go the way of Alaska.
The National Rifle Association, or the NRA, is expected to use this ruling to file lawsuits in San Francisco and Chicago. Laura?
Well, Grace, given the ruling today, does this mean it's the final say in gun control?
Well, the ruling is that there is no longer absolute prohibition on guns, but proponents of gun control say that there's still room left in the ruling for what's called reasonable restrictions.
All right. Thank you, Grace. That's CBS 11's Grace Jang reporting for us live tonight.
Across the state, lawmakers applauded the Supreme Court ruling. Congressman Don Young says he has long been a proponent of a person's right to keep and bear arms. He said in Alaska, close to 2/3 of citizens are proud gun owners. If the Supreme Court were to strike down our constitutional rights to own them in D.C., guns could be banned anywhere, including Alaska. Senator Lisa Murkowski was one of 55 senators urging the court to overturn the gun ban in D.C. She says today's ruling is a victory. With more than 2/3 of Alaskans owning guns, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, is strongly upheld in our state. Murkowski says it's an undeniable constitutional right.
We in Alaska certainly respect that and are proud supporters. I don't think it should make a difference where you live as to whether or not you have a right to possess a gun.
Senator Ted Stevens also called today's decision a victory for Alaska and all Americans. He said the ruling is a message that the Second Amendment is a, quote, pillar of our democracy.
The governor joined the chorus today praising the Supreme Court's decision. In February, the state teamed up with others, including Texas, in support of the Second Amendment. Today, Governor Palin released this statement. The decision is a victory for all Alaskans and individual Americans. The right to own guns and use them responsibly is something I and many other Alaskans cherish.